What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Talk That Talk. So today we're going to be talking about love and marriage Huntsville, and I say it like that because it just be a lot going on. So did you guys catch the last episode? Because I, for one, and we're going to get into it, I am just sick of Melody and Martell arguing. I am so sick of them arguing, but we're going to, talk about first how the episode starts off with Tisha going to therapy by herself. So she's going to therapy, and the therapist is basically telling her, like, you need to find your identity outside of being a wife and a mom. Now, this has been the whole storyline issue with Tisha since season 1 of her wanting to do other things outside of being a stay-at-home mom and a wife, and wanting to, be, more independent, have a job and working and doing what she wants to do, which is why she came out with that whole podcast talk show thing. And I don't know, she was going to school for a minute, but when she said to that therapist that the only thing she brings to her husband is her body, I was just like, Tisha, for real? Did you really mean that? I think when Marcel hears that back, he's gonna be disappointed in hearing that, because it's really, that's how she really feels, and it's dang girl, that's pretty sad, that's pretty low. But I just feel like we've been talking about this issue with Tisha for a long time, but I do think that she needs to continue to go to therapy by herself, and then hopefully her husband will join her because he has things he needs to talk about. But I just feel like there is a lot that Tisha needs to deal with within herself. So hopefully that all works out. But when she went to her husband and talked about therapy session, the way she talks about it to him is that it's he said I need to be doing this and da 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 da, and I need to find out that. No, Tisha, when you go home and tell Marcel how your therapy session went, you shouldn't say it in that way where it leaves room for people to say, oh, see, this is why da da da, and add their judgment. You should just be I had a good therapy session today. I realized that I need to identify myself as this, or I need to work on that. I really agree with him saying X, Y, and Z, and this is what I'm thinking about, or how to improve that. Not oh, he said I could be doing that, and he said that. It's just you talking about it like this gossip, and when you present it that way, somebody's gonna be see, I don't agree with that, and da, 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 he don't know what he's talking about, you know what I mean? But you gotta present it in a different way. But Marcel is basically saying, he doesn't think the therapist is good because she left more confused than when she walked in. But when we watched the scene of her in therapy, I didn't feel like she was confused. I felt like she was realizing what her issues were. But the way she communicated it came off she wasn't confident in what the conversation was between her and the therapist. So she got to work on that. A lot of people feel like Marcel is kind of manipulative, and he just wants her to be at home and depend on him and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of how we're now feeling based off what the therapist said. Tisha said, really not the therapist, but Tisha said that Marcel wanted her to be submissive and, just make him feel like she has to depend on him and stuff like that. So I really would love to hear Marcel's comment on that. I really would, I really would love to hear that, because we did not get all of that in the last session when Marcel was around. So I feel like Tisha feels comfortable saying more things when her husband isn't there. So we definitely need to get his comment on that. Now we're going to go into Melody and Martell at the park with their kids, and they're going to therapy for co-parenting, and they're doing this exercise where their kids get to ask questions to them about the whole situation and them breaking up, getting a divorce. Okay, so one, awkward, very, very awkward, but also I was glad that the kids got to voice how they felt with both parents present, because they do need to be heard. But it got awkward when it started to get to, oh, Daddy, do you have a crush? I saw you with another lady, and then Mel goes, oh, we're supposed to keep that a secret, da da da. So it's just like Melody has to tread a fine line, because when it just felt very gossipy. It felt very like, oh, see, your dad is out there doing this. You know, it definitely made Martell look bad. So I kind of understand where he's like, you know, like kind of have my back when it comes to the kids, or don't make me look like a bad person, because, you know, he is allowed to move on and stuff like that. So like, don't put it in front of the kids as best as you can, pretty much. And it kind of circles back to his point of the whole social media thing, with her putting her song on social media that's about him, and you know what I'm saying? But a lot of women, a lot of single black women will definitely paint out the father to be this negative behind person, regardless of how true it is or not. They will put that into their kids for years and years and years, and then their kids have all this resentment towards the father. So it happens so much, but to see it play out is just really disturbing. But it really hurt me when their son was saying that they want them to get back together so he can stop crying at night, and how the kids just kind of want them to be together. But I didn't like when Melody was like, do you notice that mommy's happier now and compared to like when we were together? It's just like, stop. Like, they're in the middle already. Like, certain questions you're gonna ask them is just putting them more in the middle, putting them more in a space of discomfort, and just like, you know, like, they don't want to believe that their father has this problem where he can't treat their mom right. They don't want to take that in, and they're so young at the same time, you know. It's like they don't want to take that in. They're still young and innocent. So you just gotta be like, you know, you gotta make something sound good to say, okay, mommy and daddy, we're taking a break or whatever. We're not together anymore. And don't get that deep into, you notice I'm more happier? Do you notice I'm this? Like, what? These kids, they are young as heck. Like, don't put them in that situation. So I was just like, wow, I'm surprised she asked that. I mean, I know it's true, but I'm surprised she asked that to them because they're so young. And then I don't know what Martell's going to do about this other baby, but I feel like he dragging his feet with introducing that baby to, you know, his other kids, because they are going to find out about it. It's like, you just got to put it all out on the table and say, hey, yep, you know, mommy and daddy aren't together anymore because I unfortunately got with another lady I had a crush on, and we made a baby. And this is your brother or sister, whatever, you know? So you just got to rip the band-aid off. He's waiting for the right time. It's never going to be the right time, because what you did was some crazy stuff where it's so out of this world. It's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be perceived well. It's never going to go over good. It's never going to be the right time. So you just got to do it and get it over with, because it ain't never going to be right, because it was wrong. But anyway, we're going to talk about Tiffany and Lewis celebrating their 1-year anniversary at the baseball field. I thought that was weird. Like, I understand I think that's where they got married at, right? But I thought that was weird because, like, where's all your family at? Like, where's the whole celebration part of y'all marriage? Y'all out here playing baseball. Y'all could have did that any other day. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, if I had my 1-year wedding anniversary, it would be like at a nice venue. Like, y'all could do something small at the baseball field, but then the whole party and food and drink and stuff, and y'all going up there saying how much y'all love each other. I just imagine that at like a nice venue or something like that. If y'all really wanted to have a party, you know, and people dressed up nice. Like, I was just imagining something totally different. I'm like, what is this baseball game? Like, what? Like, this is weird. And what I didn't like is Melody and Martell always bringing a drama at all the couple events. You know, it's just like, come on. Like, and I've said this to y'all before. I think Melody loves to argue or whatever. So it's just kind of like, I'm so sick and tired of watching them argue at everything they go to. It's like, y'all don't get tired of that, and y'all be arguing over the same thing. Who initiated the divorce? Who cheated? Oh, Mel was cheating while we were still married. Oh, this. Oh, it's just like, shut up already. We heard this argument 20 different times. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it. You know, it's just like, come on. And then the only thing I can't agree with Martell is him saying he's tired of everywhere he goes, he's tired of people saying, oh, I feel sorry for you, oh, and talking about his divorce and the situation with Mel. Because if I was going through something, everywhere I went to, I would not want to be talking about it. People don't realize, like, sometimes when you're going through things, you go to certain events or parties to get your mind off of what your issues are. Not going there so everybody can be all up in your business, reminding you of things that, you know, the things that may bother you or things you're trying to do or whatever. Like, you know, I just, like, people are so annoying in that way. Now, let's talk about Kimmie and Tisha. So we're still at this whole baseball thing or whatever. Did y'all understand what was going on? Usually I understand exactly where Kimmie is coming from, but this time I did not. So basically, Tisha is throwing this event, and her foundation is hosting it, and she was looking for sponsors. She hit up everybody in the chat, and she only got Melody and Destiny that responded to sponsor the event. Okay, so she didn't hear from Tiffany, and then she didn't hear from Kimmie in the group text. So Kimmie goes, well, I didn't want to be in a group text with everybody about that. And in the confessional, she basically was saying, like, you know, I don't want to be sent a reminder group text for your event, a reminder group text asking for a check. She didn't want to be reminded to send a check, basically. And she's basically saying any other time she has an event that she needs sponsors, she'll call her and pick up the phone. And then Tisha twisted and said, well, I just thought, let me just text everybody because you never call me anyway. It's just like, Tisha, that little part, like, why'd you have to add that part in? That you never call me anyway or whatever, because it just, certain things you say just is gonna cause an argument to start. You could have just left it at, well, I just, instead of making a whole bunch of separate phone calls, I just put everybody on a group text. I thought it'd be easier for me, and that would have been it. But when she said you never call me anyway, now instead of addressing what the issue was, like the whole text message thing, now we go falling into, oh, who calls who more? Why doesn't Kimmie call Tisha? And And Kimmie's like, our relationship has always been this way. I'm not one to talk on the phone. And You've always called me more. That's how it's always been. So clearly Tisha always had an issue with that, and she always felt that way. I kind of relate to Kimmie because I hate talking on the phone. I'm not going to be the one to call you. I'm a texter all the time, and I'm not one that needs to be talking to people all the time every week. Like, that's just not me. So, and there's some people who I know that love to talk on the phone, and it just don't mesh. But, you know, I just didn't really understand that, because then when Tisha goes, well, you know, you have events and you don't invite me to stuff, like all this other stuff is coming out, you know, like wasn't y'all just having a moment in Vegas and all of that where you were crying about your man and stuff or whatever and his depression? Like, now where's this other beef? Like, what happened between Vegas and that? So then Tisha's like, yeah, you had an event, you didn't invite me, you didn't invite me, and you be having stuff. And Kimmie's like, what event? Like, and Tisha won't say what the event is. And it's like, Tisha, say everything that's on your mind, or don't say anything at all. Because, like, that was so annoying to watch. Because it's like, if you're going to call her out, call her all the way out. Tell her what the event was or what you saw. Because, like, it's like, are you afraid of being wrong at this point? Like, if Kimmie goes, well, that wasn't my event that I had or whatever, like, it wasn't an event, you thought it was, but it wasn't an event, or it wasn't her event, or whatever. Like, are you scared of being wrong? That's why you don't want to say what it was? Like, she acts just like her mother. Because remember when her mom was coming for Kimmie saying, oh, I saw on social media, you said this, I saw this on social media, and Kimmie was asking for the receipts and she couldn't give one? It sounded like Tisha pulled out some BS and she couldn't give the full receipt, or maybe she was scared that her receipt was expired or it wasn't going to go through, okay? Because it's just like, come on, girl, say what the event was so she can address it and y'all can either move on or just continue to be upset with one another. Now, I don't understand why Kimmie was so mad at being in a group text, but I guess she was just mad that the text was sent to her, period. Because I guess she just didn't want to be sent a reminder text for money. I guess. I guess she felt offended, or maybe she's like, I always support her events, we always sponsor it or whatever, like why are you sending me a reminder text for it? And when Tisha was like, I didn't get a response from you, Kimmie, or Tiffany, and Kimmie's like, well, I got a text saying that I'm a part of the event, so like, you know, I guess she's just annoyed. Like Kimmie and Tisha's personalities, like they wouldn't be friends in real life, you know, if they weren't family through marriage. Like you could just tell they're oil and water. Like Tisha's needs are completely different from Kimmie's needs, and it's just like y'all just wouldn't be friends if y'all weren't family through marriage at all. But I do feel like they argued for too long because we didn't get to hear why Tiffany didn't respond in the group text. So I wanted to see why Tiffany ain't respond. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Tell me how y'all feel about Melody and Martell arguing again. And did y'all understand where Kimmie was coming from or not? Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.